welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing a rare standard video, and that's because there is a Standard RCQ season starting. The format just got a big ban update and a big rotation. Format pretty different than it was before. Brand new season. I've got a number of RCQs that I'm going to be competing in this season, and this is the deck I'm starting with. I'm not going to do a lot of standard on the channel, but I'm playing this league anyway. Might as well turn the camera on, am I right? This is Izzet Prowess. This is one of the best decks from the previous rotation that didn't lose a whole lot. Core Steel Cutter was banned, but it still has Vivi or Netier, who I'm sure you've heard of, no matter what format you play, unless you've been living under a rock with your finger in your ears. 3 mana 0/3 wizard. For 0, you can add X mana in any combination of blue or red, where X is Vivi's power. Activate this only during your turn and only once, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1 counter on Vivi, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So this thing has kind of permanent super prowess. It's also a Firebrand Archer, and it's a massive Seething Song at some point in the game. Just does everything you want in life. It's the only actual printed creature in the deck. Everything else makes creatures. We've got Storm Chaser's Talent, makes a 1/1 Otter with Prowess for 1 mana, then buys back some spells, and then becomes a massive Otter engine later in the game. Astrologian's Planisphere. We know this one from Legacy and Vintage. 2 mana equipment, and when it enters, you attach a colorless hero to it, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell or draw your 3rd card in a turn, put a +1 counter on this creature. Another instance of super prowess. And Ral, Crackling Wit, plus to make another Otter with Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on Ral, and -10, which you can get to pretty quickly if you're storming off. You have an emblem with instants and sorceries. You cast Have Storm. Pretty good stuff. And then the deck is just propped up by a bunch of cards that we see in much more powerful formats like Opt, Sleight of Hand, Into the Floodmaw. 1 mana deals with whatever problem you've got. Crash Through gives you trample, draws a card. A bunch of efficient removal. Ignore my mismatched Torch to the Tower set. I'm pretty tilted about it. I'm going to pretend I don't see it. And of course, 4 copies of Stock Up. Another eternal staple. A lot of cards in this deck, this standard deck, that see play in modern and beyond power level formats. The game plan's pretty straightforward. I am going to try to navigate sideboarding and figuring out my matchups on the fly here in preparation for my upcoming RCQs. This is literally the first 5 matches I've ever played with the deck. Let's get into it. I'm on the draw in round 1. This hand actually only makes red mana because I have 3 River Pyre Verges. I need the Sleight of Hand to get off the ground. I'm going to try this for science because if I find any source of blue, this hand is great. Yep, Shocklands now legal in standard thanks to Edge of Eternities. Found the blue immediately, no problem. I'll put Astrologian's Planisphere in my hand and Starting Town to the bottom. Mana's already perfect at this point. We've got a Sentinels in the Nameless City. That thing's huge. And opponent has it ahead of schedule. I'm definitely going to take some beats here, and then we'll see where the game lands after that. Bristly William, by the way, low-key, like a $50 card, if you haven't been paying attention. The opponent has mapped another Sentinels, dumped it to the graveyard, bashing for 5. You know what? This hero is not going to do much better than gaining me 5 life here. There goes my hero. Watch it as it dies. I'm going to jam a Vivi and see if I get a turn. They mapped a Botanical Sanctum into the hand. Mapped a Forest into the hand. They probably wanted +1 counters here more than they wanted a bunch of lands. This Land or Elf attack is interesting. I wonder if there's a pump spell that kills me here. I'm not going to play around it. Right, mapping Enduring Curiosity. All right, that's what we're doing. Can we get off the ground? I'm going to start with Stock Up and try to get some stuff rolling here. Torch the Tower is good. Consult the Star Chart is good. Roaring Furnace is a removal spell that I play. Maybe that's better than Star Chart here. Number of cards in my hand to a creature. If I put Torch and Furnace in my hand, that'll put me to 7 cards. I have to torch something before I can get the counter on Vivi, and then when I Furnace, and I have to play a land. So I'll go from 7 to 5 to 4. I can deal 4 damage to something with that. I can bargain Torch to get rid of Bristly Bill. I think I need to consult the star chart. 5, 6, 7 damage coming my way next turn. They get to draw 2 cards. Yeah, I think consult and trying to storm off here is what I need to be doing. All right, Torch with bargain. This will kill Bristly Bill. Let's get to scry 1. Sleight of hand is not bad. That's good for next turn. Put that on top. Would I rather chump block with Planisphere this turn or consult the star charts? I think I want the blocker, actually. I'm going to make blue and play Planisphere. Vivi is 3/6. I could technically survive a block here if I'm willing to play around nothing. Okay, that was a big turn, big investment. Opponent has Enduring Curiosity. This forest is actually Botanical Sanctum. I clicked off of the wrong one. I am just going to chump with my hero. There's the Curiosity. They have 1 unknown in hand. They're about to draw another one. If this Vivi survives, I'm kind of doing it. How would green kill it? Is interesting. All right, they're mapping Floodpit's Drowner. That's pretty good next turn. Okay, I can equip the Planisphere, which gives me double action on Vivi, but it costs me 2 mana to invest it. I think it's worth doing, because I will make up that mana just with the spells I know I'm going to cast this turn. All right, Sleight of Hand, plus, Sleight, Crash Through. Can I win? Maybe. Ral draws 3 and discards 2. That's really good. Okay. 5 damage right now, or 5 power right now. Crash Through will make it 7 power and put them to 11. Does Ral help in this world? I don't think so. All right, I'm going to put Crash Through in my hand. Now, the sequencing matters a little bit here. Crash Through, if it does randomly cantrip into a 1-drop, is free money. I think I'm going to take my free money. Crash Through. Opponent's at 11. Did not get any free money. I will now add 7 mana to my mana pool and see where we go. I'll select slightly for blue, and then I'm going to kick Consult the Star Charts. This will give me 2 things. I get to look at 5 cards and keep 2 of them. Into the Floodmaw. That probably wins the game, actually. Okay. Floodmaw and Torch. Yeah, I bounce Sentinel, and then I attack with this giant trample creature. Well, that was messed up. Cast no gift. Clear the Sentinel. I can kill Enduring Curiosity here. I won't need the Planisphere. Alright, yeah, they've already conceded. Oh, yeah. Alright. It's a combo deck. That felt like I was losing every turn until I won. That was awesome. Broadside Barrage, 5 to target creature, Planeswalker, draw and discard. That's clearly for this matchup. Fire Magic can wipe out a bunch of mana dorks. A Braid can kill Bristly Bill. I don't think I need Soul Cauldron for this matchup. This is kind of my hierarchy. I want definitely all my Broadside Barrages. I want some Abrades and 1 Fire Magic, and then if I can get the last Abrade and the last Fire Magic, that's exciting. I don't think this is a Ral matchup, though. If I don't have Vivi, what am I doing? I still have a bunch of talents and Planispheres and stuff, and now I have more removal. This is removal, even though it's clunky. Crash Through was the card that won me that game. The Miser's Crash Through. Might as well. I actually think Fire Magic is better than Abrade, but now that I'm thinking about the Siren, and it's not that expensive to kill Bristly Bill with this either. Wild Ride might not be that important here. That's kind of like a massive Dark Ritual for the deck, and I think I need to get control of the game and then pick them apart is my job. All right, I'm going to try this. There's just not enough room to get all these Abrades in here. At least to my untrained eye, that is true. Okay, I mean, this hand hurts a little bit, but I'm going to keep it. We've got a powerful sideboard card. I've got a 1-drop. with Prowess, which is the name of the deck. Siren. I could take a small risk here and play Talent first. Oh, but dealing 1 to each creature. My creatures have Prowess. I don't care about that. Okay. I am going to play Talent first and pass the turn. If they map onto Siren and it gets +1, then it's out of fire magic range. If they play out other creatures, that's fine. Ooh. Flying 1/3 with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, target creature has base power toughness 3/3 until end of turn. If you control 6 or more lands, it has base power toughness 6/6. All right. A juicy fella. I believe I'm going to start with a sleight of hand here. I'll put stock up in my hand. Starting town. There's no universe where they block here. Right. And I'll pass. I've got multiple instants available to me. They're mapping onto that guy. Revealing Floodpit's Drowner. Llanowar Elf. Nasty fire magic coming. Yeah, I'm just going to fire magic here. Deal 1 to each creature. This life loss is neutral because I would have taken 1 from the Spyglass Siren anyway. And now we do stuff. I could spend this turn stocking up. I could Flood Maw, set them back to nothing. I don't think I need to stock up yet. I'd like to add more to the board. There we go. Planisphere qualifies. This is the last turn starting town enters untapped, but I have my next several land drops anyway. I have enough colorless pips that I don't think this starting town will actually deal that much damage to me as we go. Okay, attack for 3. We know they have Floodpit's Drowner over there. I can stock up and Flood Maw next turn at minimum. All right, they just don't want to play anymore. Yeah, we saw, I've played 2 games with the list and we've seen the combo side and the just curve out beat down side. This deck feels pretty good. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2 with a great hand that curves out like a boss. My mana's going to hurt me, but that's okay. I realized between rounds 1 and 2 that the reason this deck doesn't have 4 Steam Vents is that that card is in the off cycle. We got some of the shock lands in Edge of Eternities and some we have to wait for some future set. Pioneer had that problem for a long time where these lands, there was only half of the set that exists. An opponent with the quick torch the tower. I'm going to opt because there are 1-drops I would play right now. I'll keep Planisphere. Okay, this could be a mirror match. It could be the Soul Cauldron version, which I think is way cooler. But I have this problem in real life where I only own 3 Soul Cauldrons, and my tournament is this weekend. All right, let's get rid of this thing. Starting town, last chance to show up. Now is the moment of truth. I could play Vivi now, or I could play Vivi next turn in a spot where I could grow it at instant speed with a Torch the Tower that could survive a burn spell. That seems better. Or if they tap out for Vivi here, I can Vivi them. Obliterating Bolt. All right, it's obliterated. That would have killed Vivi regardless. All right, Mountain Vivi. There he is. I guess they need a creature, huh? Yeah, torching my own Vivi is not the way through here. You've got a Vivi. If they cast a spell, I'll kill theirs in response. All right, it's go time. Cast with Bargain. Target your Vivi. Planisphere or Talent? I think Planisphere is actually worse than Talent here because Talent can at least buy back Opt next turn and keep things going. Scry Island to the bottom. Okay, I am ahead, but they have more cards in hand than I do. Can I run away with it right now? Bloodmaw only bounces opponent's stuff. All right, this is as good as this gets this turn. I'm going to buy back Opt with Storm Chaser's Talent. Island, Opt. Come on, Opt. Keep the party going. Oh, that's so close. I'm not bottoming that card. No way, Jose. Attack for 2. 2/5 is bigger than most of the removal spells that can be played in these decks. Obviously, Floodmaw could just reset Vivi. Okay, Vivi Supremacy. Broadside Barrage is pretty good at killing Vivi. Spell Pierce, clipping, Stock Up, or a Ral seems pretty important. I could see arguments for a lot of this stuff, but when I'm not confident, I'm going to keep it light. I think Wild Ride and Crash Through can come out here. This matchup feels like it's more about jockeying for the last thing standing, not really about cheesing out with one thing. Because we're both going to have a lot of removal and potent little threats. Fire Magic's pretty bad against Prowess creatures. It's just so easy to save them, even though the deck is full of X1s, theoretically. Into the Floodmaw is just Doomblade versus hero tokens. I like that. I could play one fewer Floodmaw, though. Or maybe this Roaring Furnace, but if we get into a grindy spot, the Steaming Sauna is actually insane. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Just extra answers to Vivi and extra protection for my Vivi, because that seems like what the matchup is about. Or at least one of the things the matchup could be about. I am impressed that I've been able to comfortably bargain all of the Tower Torches I've cast so far in these 3 games I've played. Lots of extra stuff laying around. Okay, I have their first Vivi covered. I have the ability to look for more stuff. I have a threat of my own. I'm into it. Ooh, okay. If my opponent has Spell Pierce, I would rather play Sleight of Hand. If they have Torch the Tower, I'd also rather play Sleight of Hand. Yeah, I guess it's just Sleight of Hand here. My own Spell Pierce. I'm not in great position to utilize that, but I think it will be important on a critical turn. The problem is I don't have a second blue. Okay, they passed into me. This is great. I am not going to be the one to tap out first if I'm hitting land drops. I feel like that creates a situation where they can go nuts. Stock up. I'm going to have to tap out next turn if I don't do something now. I'm going to go for Talent. I can cast this around Spell Pierce at this point. If they just kill the Otter, it's fine. And this leaves me an enchantment to bargain with if they shove Vivi on their turn. Yep. My tower's been torched. Stock up, and me without my Spell Pierce. Alright, Island, please. Oh god. Alright, well, don't Spell Pierce me, bro. I need to find an island off this. Yeah, they have it. And in basically all control mirrors throughout history, the person who misses land drop starts losing because they have to start making plays like that on their own turn. Yeah, now we're cooked. Opt gets Vivi up to 4. And if they tap out, I could barrage this thing. Opt Vivi up to 5. 1 mana still open. 1 mana to rule them all. Alright, I'm gonna barrage Vivi and just hope I don't lose. Okay, I didn't lose. Wow, alright. I'm surprised that resolved. Pretty stoked about it, actually. I'll loot away a Torch the Tower and play Starting Town tapped. Okay. That's an important hurdle cleared. We both didn't die to the first Vivi and hit our land drop. Second Vivi. Uh-oh, the Wild Ride. I said that I don't think this matchup's going to be about cheesing out a Hasty Boy, and I boarded this card out, but right now, my opponent is certainly doing a good job with it. And they have Ral. I don't think this game's winnable anymore. I'm at 11, you have a Ral. Alright, I'm good, I'm good. We can go to game 3. Yeah, that game, it looks like I lost to Vivi and Ral, but I really lost to drawing 2 mountains instead of 1 mountain and 1 island. I think if I'm able to just hold up Spell Pierce, that's totally different. Negate just doesn't hit a lot of stuff I care about. Maybe I should be thinking harder about Bloodmaw. A lot of the threats in these matchups are tokens, and Vivi does care. If it's in play for a little while, then leaves play. It's not totally trivial to rebuild it. I think I'm just gonna rock on, though, with the cards I thought were good last time. On the play with good mana, I will keep. I can't opt on turn 1 because I only have red until turn 2, but then I have red and blue for the rest of the game. I can Torch the Tower on 1. Urge, pass. Land go from the opponent as well. I'm just going to set up an opt here rather than play Talent into Spell Pierce. Opt in the end step. Consult the star charts. I want that eventually. Is now the time? I think I will just keep it, because that can help me hit land drops as well. Another Verge. I'm going to play Talent around Spell Pierce here. If they have a removal spell, I'd rather see it now than next turn on Vivi. And if they don't have a removal spell, I'm ready to deal some damage. They've got a Planisphere that resolves. I think I'm going to consult the stars in the end step. This just looks at 3 cards and I get one of them. It's not very good, but if I can guarantee follow-up, it gets a lot better. I'll take the Storm Chaser's talent. Another Verge. Now the choice. Do we present Vivi immediately or do other stuff for a little while? Talent. Torch. I'm not going to bargain this. I don't think they can cast 2 spells right now. And attack for 3. Using all my spells has made Vivi a lot worse. Floodmaw. That's a real answer. But now with double talent, I can just start buying back ops or torches or even consults. Another Planisphere. Let's see if they just equip here. Sleight of hand. We've got a 2/2. Multiple Vivis. I'm going to set up. I'm going to buy back opt, even though Consult the Star Charts is better. Because I want to set up a potential huge Vivi situation for next turn. They've got this hero token. It can be equipped by the second Planisphere to double grow. Ral, very good, of course, but they have tapped out to deploy it. There is a draw cards mode on Ral. Alright, let's see if I can punish this tap out. A land that I could stock up with would be bonkers. Oh, alright, protecting Vivi. I mean, it's not a very good protection, let's be serious. Opt is a blue card. Sleight of hand, yep. That just keeps the train rolling. Slight. Planisphere, Broadside, Barrage. I could play Planisphere now. Barrage is a later thing. I will take the Planisphere, make blue, and I'm going to attack Ral. They're just going to block, so it basically doesn't matter. But let's keep these otters under control. I have a 3/6, and they just used an Into the Floodmaw on something else. Ral is digging, which triggers the hero. They've drawn 3 cards this turn. Discarded a Vivi, which means they either have more than one, or they have Egg of the Soul Cauldron, or their Vivi doesn't answer mine, and they're just in a spot where they have to price out of it. Yeah, more than one. Seems like it makes the most sense. Okay, here we go. They have equipped Vivi with Planisphere. They've bounced my Vivi. I have a pretty good reload on that. Wait, no, I don't. What am I talking about? I need the land before that's even true. Oh god, Quantum Riddler. I'm so jealous. And they had 1 card in hand when they did this? Oh, that card rules. Okay, is my hero token going to be useful to me in any spot other than gaining a bunch of life right now? I don't think so. I'll block. Kind of Vivi flooded here. I think I have to stock up and try to find an answer to their Vivi, which I did not successfully do. That's a 2/5. I probably just want Island Torch here. Or is it Island Planisphere? It's probably Planisphere. Island Planisphere. I'm officially behind and by a lot. I have so many Vivis that I think just ramming one of them into play is better than trying to sandbag. If they spend any energy killing my Vivi, that's fine. Torch the tower. Yep. Sacking the Planisphere. Vivi's in exile. Played an island. 2 cards left in hand. Floodmaw. Not quite dead here, but it's close. This is... oh god. Quantum Riddler. 7, 12. This is 12 damage. And they have 3 cards in their hand, and they still have Vivi's activation. They just need to cast 1 spell, and I lose. And they have Ral... oh, drawing their 3rd card. No, but they did that already. Alright. Yeah, just cast a spell. We can stop. Man, Quantum Riddler. That card's sweet. I wonder if that's a mirror breaker or if that's actually just a feature of their deck. Because that card is not something I have, and it was very good. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 3. I'm going to keep my hand. Good mana. Some stuff to do. A hedge maze. Okay, it's not the mirror match. My only weakness. Storm Chaser's Talent, get in there. Oblivious Bookworm. At the beginning of your end step, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card unless a permanent entered the battlefield face down under your control this turn, or a permanent was turned face up this turn. Okay, so that's a looter and sometimes does other stuff. Oh goodness, I'm going to read so many cards here. Y'shtola Rule. Legendary Cat Druid. Let's go. At the beginning of your end step, exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Then if it's the first end step of the turn, there's an additional end step after the step. Wow, alright. So we got some blinky stuff going on pretty clearly here. I think I have to leave Oblivious Bookworm in play for a turn. I could torch it, deleting my Storm Chaser's Talent, start pushing. I would rather do that next turn when I have more stuff in play though, if I'm going to do it at all. No attack because 2 3s for 2 are just the going rate of uncommons in draft these days. Willow Rush Verge. It's weird that this was in Duskmourn. What? Oh, they were manifesting Dread in that set. Okay. I was thinking of Cloak from Murders of Karlov Manor. There's no morph in the format. Manifesting Dread, I guess, is the primary way that this would happen. Hauntwood Shrieker. Whenever this creature attacks, manifest Dread. I did it. I figured it out. And for 1 and a green, reveal target face down permanent. If it's a creature, turn it face up. All right, you've got a 3/3. I guess. So I have 2 options here. Cast Vivi and try to kill them outright next turn. Or delete their board and hit for a ton of damage right now. With the talent in play, I think I'd rather push the damage now. This is the last turn starting town can come in untapped. I'll take the damage for that. Okay, Hauntwood Shrieker costs more and takes longer to get going. I think if I'm going to torch one of these and bounce another, I would rather bounce the Shrieker. 3 toughness in both places makes it mostly the same. All right, flood that thing's maw. And then I can play Talent. Yeah, I actually don't even have to torch this thing's tower. Though I could if I want to attack for 8 this turn and leave them with nothing. No, I'm going to save a spell back for jumpstarting Vivi next turn. And if I need to just kill some 3 toughness thing on their turn, which I know they have at least 2 of. That's available to me. Threats around every corner. When this enchantment enters, manifest Dread. Whenever a face-down permanent you control enters, search a library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, tap and shuffle. That's cool. Okay, do I want them to draw a card versus have Torch the Tower available? I think I'd rather have Torch available on my turn. They get to ramp a land, and they'll get to draw a card in the end step from the Bookworm. Yeah, more prowess on my turn and more counters on Vivi. Seemed like a good investment here. The charts. We love charts. If I cast with Bargain, do I want to sack the Planisphere or one of the talents? The talents are much better with Vivi going long. This thing is already 3/3. All right, I am going to sack the Planisphere to do this. Okay, your creature is in exile. Opt, one of the best cards I could see here. And I'm going to mash in for damage. Okay, they got to do whatever it is their deck does to pay off here, or they are in trouble. We've seen some pretty messed up 6-drops in their deck with this Y'shtola Rule and some other stuff. Like, I assume this deck has some sort of combo feeling top end. Unable to scream. Okay, so this is a 0/2 with no abilities, which is actually a 1/3 with no abilities. Not having abilities is whack, but it's in play. We're still pushing damage. Nerving Grasp. All right, bounce this Manifest Dread. All right, well, I'm going to lose my Opt here. Or no, you Manifest Dread. Not me. Bummer. Wow. That's just all upside. That was a token. Okay. They're getting control here, actually. And without Vivi, I'm pretty worried. I think what I'm going to do here is Storm Chaser's Talent to buy back into the Floodmaw with the intention of bouncing Unable to Scream next turn and then winning all at once. Let's hope I get a next turn. We know they have a Hauntwood Shrieker in hand. Bookworm, that's a new one. The other one's in exile. There's still a Shrieker over there. And this could turn face up into anything. I don't know. Growing Dread. When this enters, manifest Dread. Whenever a permanent is turned face up, put a +1 counter on it. Okay. Fair enough. Threats around every corner, just cranking out crazy amounts of lands here. All right, it's a big moment to try to win the game. All right, I have to give them a fish to bounce Unable to Scream. Vivi is awake. I'm going to play Storm Chaser's Talent first. All these spells are free, but if they do something to Vivi in response, I could respond with Opt here. It's keeping the instant back, lets me guaranteed double spell. Opt. I do have to find a way through all these blockers, or just burn them out entirely. Mountain, I don't want. Spire Bluff Canal, not ideal either. I've got the mana to consult the star charts with Kicker, or I could cast it without Kicker and hope there is one spell that keeps the party going. I guess I would rather kick it while I can. With Kicker, I would have seen more cards if I played my land first, but I'm kind of still holding out hope that I have another spell this turn. Like if I consult into land crash through, I just win. Oh, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Riverpire Verge crash through. It's cool when you have a one of in your deck if you always draw it. Okay, I'm going to attack with my trample creatures. I have 11 power of trample here. They're at 4. They have 7 toughness of blockers. If they can turn one of these face up, it will get a +1 counter, but I'm attacking for Xaxes. Played your outs, folks. That Spire Bluff Canal might have lost me the game if I had played it. Okay, we saw a lot of X3s in this deck. A Braid hits all of those. I'll have to figure out who this main deck Soul Cauldron is for, because so far I haven't met them. In the Vivi Cauldron deck, of course, having your own Cauldron to stop them is pretty important. Broadside Barrage, we saw them going wide, not really big, other than the 6/6, which I can't kill with this card anyway. Annul has some hits, Spell Pierce has some hits. This Miser's Wild Ride also, and maybe I'm just not hitting the matchups for it, but it doesn't seem like where I want to be. I tried looking on Goldfish real quick to see if this deck is a known thing, like if they're going to have a sideboard juke that I need to respect, and I did not see this deck pop up. There's the Simic midrange deck we played against already. There's a Simic ramp deck that goes all the way up into Eldrazi's and Ugins and stuff, and this is not that. I saw a couple really good hits for Annul. This Furnace seems way clunkier than a Braid at doing the same thing. Okay, I'm going to do this. No lands, sad. Mulligan. No. One land, and it's not a blue one to get my cantrips going. I'm going to try to keep the faith here, though. This is one of those hands that if you find it, you're off, and I have 2 draws to find it. No love. Magic is easy. Okay, I'm going to play Planisphere. This just uses my mana more efficiently. We know they have bounce spells. Okay, Growing Dread. End step, make a 2/2. There's the Bookworm. They have not manifested Dread nor flipped anything up this turn. This is a loot. Discarding a Born Oculus. Gotta imagine they're doing something with that. Sleight of hand. I'm looking for an island here. We did it. I'll take the island. Sorry, stock up. You're a later problem. Storm Chaser's Talent. And I think I am going to play another Storm Chaser's Talent and just invest in next turn. It's a lot of tokens against a deck that's primary removal is probably bounce. Another Growing Dread. So now anything they turn face up gets 2 +1 counters on it. And this is a draw with Bookworm. Jill Shiva's Dominant. Jill enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. For 5, you can exile Jill, return a transformed, and then there's a bunch of stuff going on back there that I'm not going to read until it matters. No thanks. Not interested. Okay. Opt. I'm going to play the small cantrips first because they play around Spell Pierce. Annul. I think I actually want that. And opt again because I'm trying to attack here. Fire Bluff Canal to the bottom. Torch the tower. Gas Olutely. And I'm just going to attack with all my creatures. All my creatures are bigger than all their creatures, and I can make them even bigger in combat with the torch. If they set up a double block, I'll just blow them out somewhere. This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can make it 16, or I can save Torch the tower. I think I'm going to save the torch. Leave myself some options. You can't respond to cards being turned face up. That's a special action that doesn't use the stack. So they will turn face up. Whenever you turn a permanent face up, that is a trigger though. So it doesn't just flip and it's immediately +2/+2. It will flip and then trigger 2 growing dreads and be whatever it is. So if there's an X3 or smaller underneath there, oh god. Okay. When this leaves the battlefield, draw a card, then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. And this warps for 4. All right, this homie has warped in. They can put a 4-drop into play at the end of turn. It's pretty scary. And we get to see what it is. Looting first. Dumped an Unable to Scream. Me with my Annul ready to go. Okay, let's see what this Vestige delivers to me. A Borinoculus. Yeah, that card's pretty good. I could remove one of these blockers now, but I'd rather have more prowess on my turn, I think. Okay, they get to Manifest Dread. They're at 5. Oh, there is some urgency here. I think I'm going to start with stock up. I found a River Pyre Verge and an Opt. That can let me cast 2 spells this turn. I would rather have Opt as a surprise than Sleight of Hand. Verge. If I kill a blocker, that doesn't quite do enough. The Crash Through is still in my deck. I think I should opt to see if I spike Crash Through and then just go to combat with Torch the Tower available. Bloodmaw. I like that one. That resets the Oculus in a spot where they can't actually replay it. Okay, I'm going to attack with everything. I think they're going to block with their 3 manifests. That would be my guess here. Unless one of them is better than Bookworm. I'd love any sort of double block. If they want to get clever here and lose 2 creatures, I'll take it. Oh, by blocking with Bookworm, they do get to replay Oculus. All right, I guess in that case, I'm just going to pass the turn, like pass combat damage. Because if I bounce Oculus in their end step, then they don't have a chance to replay it. Wow, Knights of Round is in their deck. I guess, yeah, okay, so you manifest this Dread, and then you have things like Hauntwood Shrieker to turn it face up. Kind of a backdoor show and tell situation, a reanimator show and tell. They went down to 3. There is anti-casual Vestige in Exile that they could warp, or that they can cast from warp next turn. All right, Manifest Dread X times, put X+1 counters on each of those creatures. This was a draft bomb in its format. So they're going to get 2 creatures, and they're both 4/4s. All right, that happens. Pile of 4/4s. I will be deleting this Oculus whenever it is convenient to me. Probably. If they had attacked, it would have been in combat. Now it's going to be end step. All right, put that away. It'll be back, and I do have to come up with 3 damage this turn. That should not be hard to do, considering I have Into the Floodbaugh in my graveyard and Stormchaser's Talon on the battlefield. And multiple 3-power creatures. Bloodmaw. Get rid of one of the 4/4s. Get rid of the 2/2. And we've done it. All right, yeah, that was just a matter of... That felt like a draft game. Like, we both had some stuff going on and some creatures of different size with some different words on them. But mostly, like, there wasn't a lot of big, fancy, tricksy stuff going on there. Just creatures with stats and jockeying for life total removal. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in round 4. I know no lander. There's 21 lands in the deck, so on average you'll have 2 in a hand. I'll keep this one. Bottom, Mountain. Not having double blue has come up already for me, so I'm going to just commit to the starting town life. Watery Grave. All right, apparently Dimir got their shock land in this set. Starting town, get in there. I'm playing starting town now because if I draw another one next turn, that lets me play that one untapped as well. And it otherwise mostly doesn't matter. All right, so I can jam Vivi here, which I don't think I'm going to do. I'm going to Thundering Falls for some selection. Ooh, that card's sweet. I'll put that on top. That can kill a Preacher of the Schism if they jam one here, or a Deep Cavern Bat, anything like that. And if they don't do anything of the sort, I can check them with Ral into Sauna over the next couple turns. I think I'm just going to not cast a spell, though. I'm hitting my land drops. There are a bunch of quenches in the format, like pay 2, or it's countered kind of things, that I think I can afford to work around. Right, I'll try VV now. I can pay for a soft counter, and I can do stuff quickly, get at least a little bit of value before it dies to whatever Doomblade they have. Yep, VV is a cop. Torch the tower. I'm going to bottom that. Removal's not really what I'm hurting for here. Dr. Owner. All right, well, I could have hit that. Now I might get Kaito'd. I'm still going to save into the Flood Maw. Yep, okay. That's mostly... I mean, it happens. I'm not going to say it's fine, because it sucks, but it happens. Target creature. So Roaring Furnace can't hit Kaito here. Preacher of the Schism confirmed. We know they're holding a Flood Pit's Drowner. Torch the tower. Can hit Planeswalkers. Ral just dies if I play it. Or that's not true, because I can torch the Doctor or the Drowner. If they plus Kaito, Ral just dies. But I'll try Ral here. I gotta punch a hole somewhere. Oh wait, Ral gets +1 when I cast the Torch to the tower, so Ral doesn't die to combat here. There's the Drowner. I'll torch that right now. Okay, we both have Planeswalkers now. Soulstone Sanctuary can wake up if they want to tap out on their turn to clear Ral. Yep, that's also a ninja if they plus Kaito. Yikes. All right. There's a lot to keep track of here. I can only deal 3 to this. That sucks. And this Roaring Furnace eats shit pretty quick. I think I'm going to invest in this Sauna. I take a huge hit of damage this turn. Am I literally dead? Did I blow it? So they have 5, 10, 15. No, I'm at 2. All right, I'm not literally dead. And I can bounce Kaito. I'm going to draw an extra card in my end step, and then see if I want to flood them all. Flood Pit's Drowner. Okay, so I draw a card here. If I give them a fish, what happens? So they do have exactly lethal right now. This is 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. If I give them a fish, then they can't plus Kaito before combat. All right. Oh, wait, hold on. Can I just bounce the Soulstone Sanctuary? Yeah, it's just bounce a creature, right? Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, that sets them back a land and 5 damage. I think that's the best way I can do that. Because giving them a fish is a huge cost here. They just ninjutsu Kaito back down using the fish. That doesn't even cost them an attacker. Curiosity. Their draw engine's better than mine. I dare say. They're going for extra draw with Kaito. Sanctuary's back. Bat probably takes Sleight of Hand, would be my guess. Astrologian's Planisphere doesn't fix any of my problems here. Haha! Had it. Planisphere. I'll select a job. Oh, I can just kill this bat with the other door. Yeah, I should have done that. It's fine. It still works. Unlock Roaring Furnace. Kill the bat. That draws Sleight of Hand. Hero token getting pretty heroic here. I don't want any of these. I guess I take the Verge. Another Sleight of Hand. I'll take Storm Chaser's Talent off this one. Land, Talent. All right, I've put together some blockers. And I get to draw another card in the end step. I'm definitely having a bad time here, but that was a really sweet turn. Heroes tapped. Sanctuary is awake. This is... oh, there's something else is happening. All right, they're attacking. This is a lethal attack. Cool. All right, so this game did hinge on the turn where I bottomed that Torch the Tower, and then they flashed in a creature and Kaito'd me. Good to know. Let's pay attention to stuff like that. Barrage kills Kaito. Fire Magic kills all their little nickel and dime dopes. The Drowners, the Spyglass Sirens, the bats. I think I want those. Once again, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. What are you for? Why are you here? This is a matchup where I could see Wild Ride actually being good. The Furnace was sweet. We got to use both rooms, and they were both pretty good. I think I'm going to go -1 Flood Maw, because a lot of their stuff has Splash and gets value when it arrives. It just doesn't seem like the solution I'm looking for. Yeah, maybe I'm just a bot, but even though I think Wild Ride has reasonable places to deploy in this matchup, I'm not confident in cutting any of these other cards. Like Spell Pierce and Negate might have homes, but a lot of the stuff I care about is a creature. I don't think I need Crash Through in this matchup. They're not good at dumping out a bunch of blockers. Or the blockers they do have, Fire Magic is pretty good against. Okay, I'll do this. I'll keep my hand. It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm just going to opt this turn, so I'm not going to lead on starting town. Opt Planisphere. I like it. I'll be on board. This also lets me develop the starting town and spend all my mana without taking any damage. The Azure Beastbinder can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or greater. When it attacks up to one target artifact, creature, planeswalker, an opponent controls loses all abilities and becomes a 2/2. Yep. A lot of cool words on that one. Spire Bluff Canal showing up right on time. I'm going to stock up while the getting's good. Wow, look at all these cards. I think I want Barrage and Opt. Just Opt for efficiency and Barrage because it answers so many problems. And I don't have an attack here. It can target my Planisphere and make it a 2/2 with no abilities. I can't block. Oh, if it's a creature. All right, so the Planisphere has no abilities, but the creature still does creature stuff. Okay. Mountain. I think I want to play Talent here and then sit on a pile of instants. Oh, is this supposed to be happening? Is this a mistake? Yeah, this is a bug. This should not be growing. Right? Okay, hold on. So there is a layer thing going on. So equipped creature is a wizard and has ability granting might happen. No, this is the same layer because we're talking about ability granting and losing. I don't think this should be getting any bigger. Okay, so they're going to Tidebind this. That's fine. You got me. Storm Chaser's Talent doesn't have any words on it for now. This looks like a good opportunity to resolve another stock up. Ral and another stock up. Though land is also kind of good here. I'm about to miss a land drop. I think I actually do want the island over Ral. It'll suck if I draw a land next turn, but it'll suck more if I get gated on not being able to do stuff. Though Vivi's ready to party, but Vivi wants lands too. All right, I'll take Island Ral. And I am going to leave my hero token back because it can block Tishana's Tidebinder, even it can't block Beastbinder. Cecil the Dark Knight. They've bound my hero, who is now a 5/5, but did lose the ability. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that because this is not an unusual interaction, and there might be some layers wizardry at work. I am 1 mana away from Fire Magic for 3, which clears the whole board of their stuff. If I go for Vivi here, I can immediately get paid at least a little bit, or I can cast some instants on my opponent's turn and try to tangle. And I think I want to start a fight on my opponent's turn. Would they trade Cecil for my 5/5? They might. Yeah, I can kill Cecil pretty easily next turn. And if they play a bat, Fire Magic's really good here. At the beginning of combat, I'm going to barrage this Beastbinder. That thing's causing problems for me. I'll discard a Mountain. And no action from the opponent. I'm not going to opt in the end step. I want to bank that for Vivi. Oh, now we're double Vivin. Right, now I don't care if they kill one of them. I'm ready. Opt. All right, my Sheriff has been shot. Sleight of hand right on top. Opponent is starting to run out of cards to do stuff with over there. I'm still not going to attack. I don't want this Cecil to be able to do anything. Like, if they just trade Cecil for hero token, then Tishana's Tidebinder gets to start attacking. And I think I'm favored in a spot where neither of us really have an engine online. Especially when I have 2 engines in my hand. Yep, just a pass from the opponent. Floodmaw. Vivi versus Ral here. Vivi. Once again, leading on the sorcery. Tishana's Tidebinder. Okay, that can enter. Is there anything I want to Floodmaw now? I could bounce Cecil. I don't want to bounce the Tidebinder because then it's just back. Negate. Okay. It wasn't really about Floodmaw. It was about the trigger. And now I'm going to add a blue to my mana pool while I still can. I'm not going to use it. Well, I might use it. I still have a sleight of hand on the stack. Cool. I think I want this Torch the Tower more than I want this Ral because I want my Vivi to exist. Cool. Opponent's got one card left in hand. I've got Vivi on board active, Ral in the mix. Fully kicking Fire Magic is a full sweeper next turn. One card over there. It would have to be a negate for me to care about it, which I guess it very well could be, but all right, we are going to Fire Magic for 3. And they've had enough. Cool. All right, game 3. Yeah, I have my torches in. Tishana's Tidebinder pretty good against me, but it is a reactive card. I'm going in, same stuff. I don't really want to engage them in a counter war. I want to overwhelm their counters, especially since my counters are like Spell Pierce. And if I wait until turn 6 or 7 to start a fight, then they can just pay for Spell Pierce. It hurts, but I'm keeping. Ghost Vacuum. I guess I technically care about that a little bit. I'm going to get on board first. They're a deck that cares about attacking unblocked and stuff. Life total is ultimately how I'm going to win. There's the binder. Sick. Right, now I can add Planisphere, or I could talent. All right, yeah, I'm going to attack this turn. Talent plus Slight actually lets me push damage through this binder, and then I can push a lot of damage next turn. I'll take the island. It was island opt there. I've got Vivi in hand. I've got things to spend mana on. They're slurping up my sleight of hands out of the graveyard. Okay, so these Storm Chasers' talents have done their job already. They're not going to get any better because of the Ghost Vacuum. I got other stuff I can do. Planisphere, trigger. Sleight of hand, triggers. Another Vivi. Starting town enters tapped anyway. I don't really rely on that. I'm going to take Vivi. And then I'm going to attack with all of my creatures. They can just block the 2/2, but that means they're taking 3. In case they were inclined to chump block here, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but I want to give them the option to make a mistake or make a play that benefits me. I shoot the Sheriff. That's one answer to Vivi down. Here they can draw an extra card. This would be a big turn to draw an untapped land. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. All right, I don't even have to take damage here. Opt. Another Planisphere. I don't think I want that. No, I already have one in my hand. I'll bottom that. More Vivi. Wasn't really looking for that either. Hero token attack. If we can trade with this 4/3, I'll take it. They still get, of course, the enchantment mode, but I don't really want to play against that 4/3. They can lock down Vivi, but it will be a 2/5. Yeah, they're actually starting to get control of this. The third Vivi is too much, and the fact they can turn off this one forever, not ideal. Duress. My Planisphere is gone. Yeah, now my hand actually just fully sucks. Spyglass Siren. Map found Watery Grave. Yeah, I'm kind of cooked here. Just Vivi flooded, Storm Chaser's Talent. All right, I am going to level up Storm Chaser's Talent because Chapter 3 still works, and I got to do something. I guess Vivi attacks as a 3/3. I'll take that, sure. Push damage where I can. Got to do something. I don't know why I thought, oh, this was going to be a 2/5. Why was it? Oh, because it sets it to 2/2. Right. That makes sense. I can block with Otter to stop them drawing one card, but I think I need this Otter to push my damage. Whatever that ends up looking like. Looks like we got an end-step Kaito, or end of combat Kaito here. So I've already taken my damage. They just picked up their 1/1. That can make a new map. Surveil 2, draw a card. Yeah, their engine's fully online. Siren, we knew about that one. Now it's my turn. Okay, opt. I could opt on their turn. I'm actually going to equip Planisphere to the Otter and just pass. Or I could attack Kaito with Vivi. I'm going to attack Kaito with Vivi. All right, and depending on how they make their attacks this turn, I could answer the Beastbinder. If I block, then opt, my otter will become 3/3. Yeah, they're continuing to bind Vivi, which means I'm going to block the Beast Binder with Otter, then cast Opt, which will make it 3/3. I mean, this gets cooked by any removal spell, but I've at least challenged their thing that has been locking me down. I couldn't have opted and gotten a counter on Vivi, because then I wouldn't be able to block. Negating the Opt. Okay. The Opt was only kind of the point of that, but they don't want me to get anything going. I respect that. Down to 9. They have 7 cards in hand. Surveilling still. You're going to have 8 cards in hand. I think if they had a removal spell, they would have used it, so they're probably frantically digging for removal here. Right, Beastbinder's gone, which means Vivi's awake. I could kill the Spyglass Siren this turn with Furnace, which isn't that good, but does stop them from drawing an extra card. All right, I'm going to play the Roaring Furnace. Kill Spyglass Siren. And I guess I will attack Kaito with my now 4/4 Otter. Kaito's a problem in its own right. Creature of the Schism also a problem. I'm fine with either of these trades. Or at least I have to be fine with these trades because it's what I got. Equip Planisphere. And pass. Vivi, you're up, homie. Win this game for me. Nowhere to run. Shit. Well, that's no good. I got a handful of Vivis. They can hit me for 3, 7, 4, 8. They could put me to 1 here. If the map hits, they actually have lethal. That one doesn't matter right now. That one doesn't matter right now. Okay, I'm pretty dead here. I have to pretend that there's 6 cards in hand, don't do anything, and then draw a cantrip that gets Vivi started. Failed both tests. All right, GG's. Yeah, that was cool. I felt like I was doing really well until I drew a 3rd Vivi and then they duressed me, and then I just suddenly had nothing to do for like 4 consecutive turns. And Beastbinder. MVP. Cool match. A lot learned there. That's an important matchup. This is the most popular deck in Standard. It's important to know about this one. Or at least that's true at the time of this recording, which might not be true a couple weeks from now when you actually see this. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in the final round, positive record on the line. This is the worst opening hand that I've kept, but I am going to keep it. If they're a deck with any sort of creatures, Double Torch is sick, and then I do have a reload. I've mulliganed a lot of hands this league where I just don't have mana in 7, or at least not functional mana in 7, and I don't want to get greedy about a better 6 in a deck with as many cantrips as I play, and end up looking at a 6 that doesn't have lands, and then I have to go to 5. Opponent went to 5, they've got blue-black. Don't love that. But if they're the type of blue-black that cares about having creatures in play, then I'm good against that. Right, sleight of hand, cool. I'm going to sleight here. Vivi or Nitier. That's the guy. And this is why you keep hands, like, cantrips are part of your mana base if you keep hands without a lot of lands in them. They're part of your threat base if you keep hands that with too many lands in them. It's just how it works. Okay, I think I'm just going to pass here. My opponent's missing land drops, which means they're going to be priced into a spot where they have to do stuff they don't want to do. While I don't. Like, I can just kick a Consult the Stars in their next end step, and then they can either fight over that or let me untap and continue developing. Spyglass Siren. Yep, perfect. And this is what I was talking about. Walk them into a spot where they have to do something they don't want to do. They just tapped out to not really do anything on their turn. Now I'm going to jam Ral, probably. I think I actually do want to consult the star chart here, even though I only get 1, because this is a big turn to be able to double spell. All right, well, starting town is not a double spell, but I will get to play Ral on a completely empty board. Next turn, I'm untapping with Vivi Stockup plus Ral. They might genuinely just concede the game to this. I wouldn't blame them. Ral is in there. I'm applying pressure. Let's go. And this happened to me earlier in the league, in the mirror match, where I started missing land drops before my opponent did. Like, go ahead, look at my hand. What do you even take? You have to take Torch, or else I just torch your bat. Yeah, okay, they just wanted to look at my hand before they concede. Okay, fire magic I like against them. I got the Soul Cauldron still. 0 for 5 on that one. Wild Ride is really bad against removal. Fire magics, the barrages kill the Preachers and Kaito. I don't think, yeah. I mean, I've played this matchup once already, and I didn't think the counter spells were what I wanted, and I still don't think that's the case. Yeah, I think I crashed through enough Blood Maw can go out. This hand is like the one I kept last game. I am not going to miss any land drops. I need to find some action. I do have a threat and some way to slow them down. They've got a starting town. Hey, so do I. Cool. I didn't want one, but I have one. Talent, right on time. I am going to play the talent. If they do something like jump out a Blood Pit's Drowner, I can just bounce it in the end step. Nowhere to run. Yeah, if they're spending that, that's fine. Soulstone Sanctuary. Into the Flood Maw, crazy good against that. Okay, Spire Bluff Canal and Planisphere. We're in there. It's disappointing that I've drawn lands on 2 of my 3 draw steps so far. But we got Stock Ups and Cantrips in the deck somewhere. Alright, we're just casting Kaitos. That's legal. Yeah, Stunning the Hero is the thing that makes sense here. Another one. Okay, the Replanisphere and Thundering Falls do your work here. Torch the Tower. This does hit Planeswalkers. I don't actually want this, but I also do want Kaito out of play. I think I'm going to put Torch on top. If they fire up the Sanctuary, I'll bounce it so fast. I would be really surprised if that happens, though. Target opponent exiles a creature they control and their graveyard. Okay. I'll exile this stunned hero. I prefer the small one that can attack to the big one that can't. Kaito's getting in there. I'm not going to block. I want this creature to challenge Kaito on the way back. I know I have the burn spell to finish Kaito. They don't know that. If they aggressively prioritize killing the hero here, like if they draw cards with Kaito to try to kill the hero, I'm ready. Surveil is the choice here. Dumped Watery Grave, drew the other card. Okay, we've got options here. If I just attack, I'd like to equip Planisphere because I'm going to cast more spells this turn. But if they do have a removal spell, that makes Storm Chaser's Talent worse because I could have cast Torch the Tower, picked it back up. Right, I'm going to begin combat. And in my declare attackers, or yeah, beginning of combat before I attack, I'm going to Torch Kaito. I don't want to attack Kaito and then have to Torch to buff because that doesn't save anything. If I could just Torch Kaito, then we did it. And I don't want it into the Flood Maw and nowhere to run for a trigger either, so just kind of doing what I got here. Because if they have a counter spell, then I attack. If they have a removal spell, Kaito's already gone. And if they have a Flood Pit's Drowner or something like that, it's exactly the same. So, okay, yeah, I think this is just right. At first it felt interesting, but it's actually not. It's just the way that you do this. Okay, Kaito is in exile. And do you have a Flood Pit's Drowner? Doesn't look like it. Attack. They did keep a card on top with Kaito last turn, so something's going to happen here. All right. Heroes. Oh, that's awkward. I would have to admit that cops are heroes, or heroes are cops. Nah. That removal spell works on that. That's how I choose to say that. Okay, here we go. Fire magic. Right, I'm leveling up Storm Chaser's Talent. I don't know how much I actually want a Torch the Tower, but I am certain that this is how I spend my mana here. Torch the Tower's in the grip. I think I should play Starting Town now. Alright, I hope I don't need 2 spells this turn. I could have had Fire Magic. I could have had any 2 of these 3 available to me, but I went for the tap land instead. Okay, they're activating Soulstone Sanctuary. I can bounce that one. Or torch it in the future. Alright, I'm going to let them go into attacks. And then I'll Flood Maw this thing. Or I could just take 3. I don't want to get Kaito'd. Alright, I'll Flood Maw this. This interaction makes me very happy. That it doesn't say non-land on the mode. Like, one of the modes does say non-land and the other doesn't. And if you are so reckless as to turn your land into a creature, then the non-kicked mode of this is functional. Just makes me happy from a game design perspective. Here they can decide if this is worth a counterspell or if they're just gonna activate their other Soulstone Sanctuary, and carry on with life. I'm about to get Stormchaser's talent up to level 3 and still have Torch the Tower or Fire Magic to start cranking out otters. And they know I have Torch, which means Soulstone Sanctuary is not necessarily safe. Phantom Interference. Okay. They are doing the most with that. That means they get to keep their 3/3, and they've generated a 2/2. Fire Magic can sweep up all of these in the future. Ooh, stock up. I think I would rather get Stormchaser's talent up right now. Getting an otter every time I cast a spell is so messed up. I'm going to try not to torch this turn. Depends on what kind of aggression they present. But like this, like I'll just Fire Magic their whole life. They can't Kaito with the mana they're showing. This is 8. I go to 6. I think I just have to be okay with this. I could hit the Spirit Token. Nope. I'm taking it. Let's go. I'm setting up a big turn. Another Soulstone Sanctuary. I guess my otter just dies here, doesn't it? Alright. Let's see if this works. If they have a counterspell, I'm kind of cooked. I could just Sleight of Hand. Because if in the end step, if they activate the other Soulstone, I get a huge blowout. Alright, I'm going to swing for a blowout here. Which might be greedy. But I'm into it. I don't mind a little greed. The problem is if I Fire Magic, they get to float mana, then activate the other Sanctuary. I'm just going to pass and hope they activate Sanctuary in my end step. Yeah, we got them. Okay, that resolves Fire Magic. 3 to each creature. They still have Restless Reef, but they've lost everything else. So have I. They can attack me to 2. And then I have to put otters in front of Restless Reef for the rest of the game. And if they reef me here, it means they're not doing anything else. Okay. Let's see if I can win this game at 2 life. 2 life with an infinite stream of blockers is a lot of life. Oh, it's getting even better. Okay. Talent for some extra juice here. Stock up. Do I want to equip Planisphere? No, I do not, because I don't know how much mana I'm going to need here just to survive. And they just conceded to that. Cool. Yeah, set up that massive blowout, and then we're out of there. Cool. A positive record, learning experience with this format I have not played, and a deck that I've also not played, even in the previous version of this format. It makes sense to me, at least the core thing. I mean, it's not really rocket science to cast spells and your creatures get bigger in the meantime, but there were some cool decisions made of when to sequence your removal, when to trigger the prowess, when to go for it with Vivi versus when to sculpt for later. I'll have to dig in, consume some content, read some articles or whatever, figure out what exactly these flex slots are for. I understand that Wild Ride is very strong with Vivi, but having only one of those, is that worth the slot? I don't know. That is little to do with the archetype, which is what I was just getting a feel for today. And as I move forward in my standard RCQ season, I will learn the ins and outs of the flex slots and what they mean. Everyone, thanks for watching this foray into standard. I won't do this a lot, but I like being able to do it now and then. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.